tell us about Poncho and when and how he came into your life.
Well, a friend adopted Poncho. Um, I tried to date a guy, is what it was, and he got the dog, and um, it didn't work out between him and I. And the dog was here a lot. I already had two small dogs, and Poncho's a lab pit bull mix, and he was a
Okay.
puppy, probably 7 months old, and but he got along great with my dogs, and he was here a lot. And when I told the guy, "Hey, this isn't going to work," I kept his dog, and
That
I
was
think I got the better end of the deal there. Um, but I think it was meant to be. It was.
yes.
Um, I had to go through that guy to get Poncho,
Yeah.
and Poncho ended up being my angel. I think that Dave sent to me, and I believe that people and things come into your life for a reason, and when they do, when you need them.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I believed it before, but I believe it even more now after Dave's death because I believe Dave sent things into my life and people into my life when I needed them.
Yeah.
But Poncho, I started again 7 months old when I got him. He was very rambunctious, very much a puppy, big for his age, and powerful. So I said we got to get some training. So we started going to some training, and the person I picked is a former JAG officer from the Navy, but she also trains service dogs, and she um, she started picking up signs of him of the things he was doing. And like I said, just a puppy, basic things we were doing with him: sit, stay, avoid, leave it, things like that. But he kept comforting me and he kept coming to me and the things he was doing, she started picking up. She goes, "Has he had any training?" I said, "Well, I don't know. He was a stray that was dumped at the Humane Society." And she's like, "He's doing things that a service dog would normally do." She goes, "There's
Yeah.
just no commands. There's no commands to it. He'd shield me, he'd protect me, he'd stay within my bubble, he'd keep people away from me."
Oh my God. What?
Yeah, when I started having those moments where I was losing track of time, I'd be standing in the kitchen and he'd come bump into me. And if I ignored him, he'd grab my arm with his mouth. And it wasn't a bite, it was like a real soft mouth, like a lab would have, just grab. And the first time he did, I'm like, "What's wrong? I think something's wrong with him." And
Yeah.
I'm kind of pushing him off. Well, he's insistent. So I sit on the ground with him and he immediately crawled in my lap. And like is hugging me. He's almost 50 pounds at that point. And he's sitting in my lap and he's just laying on me. And when I later looked into it and was talking to the trainer, she's like, "He's grounding you.
Oh my
He's
God.
that's what
What?
that's what service dogs are trained to do." And she goes, "He's just doing it naturally." She goes,
That
"He
is amazing.
yeah." So he needed some impulse control is all he needed because he's again a puppy.
Yes.
But it was just at home when he didn't have his vest on, he was a dog unless he said something with me, and then he was my Velcro. But as soon as we put that vest on, he was working and he knew it. So if I
Oh,
went out in
wow.
public, I was very comfortable going out in public with him because he would keep people, you know, um, he'd sense good and bad in people. It was really crazy how he did that. Um, if you're an able-bodied person and I let you pet him, he just lay his whole body on you. All 70 pounds of him would be laying on you and he'd wanting pets. If you were a child, he'd sit down. If you were an elderly person, he would sit down. Like he knew how to read people. Little
Wow.
girl in a wheelchair, he saw her and he got all excited before she got excited. And so I walked over and I said, "Hey, you know, you think, she'd want to meet him?" And they're like, "Yeah." He just went and put his head on her leg, like knowing, he couldn't jump on her. Um,
Exactly.
he was an angel that came to me. And I was
Yes.
very, very thankful to have him. Unfortunately, I lost him in February. Um, he had some kind of genetic defect and had a heart attack, and I lost him in February.
Oh,
But I believe I had him when I needed him.
yeah.
And the only thing that I've said to my friends and family is God has plans for me that he's had to clear away. And unfortunately, somebody else needed Poncho. And
Yes.
so he has to go and be with somebody else. But um, I am
What
looking
an
to get another.
angel. Wow. I just
Yeah.
love that story.